You're still go through.
Okay.
No, you're good.
Right. Okay. So, welcome everybody to Habitat Issue Triage. Today is June 26th, and so we're gonna just go through the board here and look at our issues that need triaging. Let's see. So this first one, we're just looks like one that I created. Okay, Windows, broken package environments. Tab was not found on the file system or the path. Broken package environment has no dependencies. Let's see. Oh, you know what? Okay. So this was, I'm trying to think. I don't think this was, okay. Yeah, I never, so, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and close this. I never got response from the individual who filed this. Basically, what was happening was they were doing a HAB package environment to see what Habitat was putting on the path, which looks correct. But they ran HAB package exec. That it was clear that things weren't on the path, so namely HAB. So they were taking a dependency on HAB, and that wasn't being seen. I tried to reproduce that locally. I didn't. I did ask the individual to turn on restlog debugging, because for this particular case, the debugging is actually pretty useful. It'll tell you exactly what that command is putting on the path. I'm just going to go ahead and close this for now, since we haven't heard anything. All right. Okay, so override plan.sh values at build time. So let me take a look at this. I'm currently working.
Did we go over this triage last week?
Yeah, I thought somebody was going to link them to the docs for the do version.
Oh, yeah, I remember we talked about that.
Okay, I'm going to take, can you put a link to that issue, Pat, and I'll take care of it.
Yeah, let's see. Where is the link? Oh, I guess it's just right here. I'll put that, I'll just Slack that. Damn it. All right. My gosh, my computer is so incredibly slow. There we go. All right. Just for my own edification, it looks like, so this is one of those situations where he's trying to dynamically set the version as edit, and so then you just call the helper functions to basically set that. Is that essentially what's going on here?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Oh, actually, let's see. Well, I'll just let you put it in and close it when you do that.
Yep. Yeah, I got it.
Okay, awesome. Jira integration. Oh, I know this is Elliot's favorite topic. Can we get some more? I'm surprised there aren't like a bunch of thumbs up.
Big party.
Right, like 100. It would be nice if Builder can integrate with Jira so that each build will have change set details and release manager. Can we get some more information about this integration? Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So they want basically as events happen inside of Builder, to have that somehow be able to wire up to Jira cards.
Exactly.
Yes,
yeah, I would say, without some more details, I would say that like close it and then say like please provide more details and reopen.
Yeah. All right.
Matt,
yeah.
Are we sorting by newest, or are we doing a different?
That's you're asking excellent questions. Let's see.
I think with so few issues, like we're down to 7.
Matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna get through it in the time we have allotted.
Okay.
All right.
Just want to make sure I'm looking at the same thing.
We're on Matt's custom sort right now. It's a very efficient algorithm.
Yeah, random shuffle. Okay, HAB package export does not resolve built packages in HAB packages. Oh, okay. Build my app, then Studio. Oh, right. Yes. Seems like there is I could swear there's actually another issue out there. Actually, I think I might have. Did I comment on this? Yeah, I did. So, okay, yeah, I just got left at that. So, I know this has happened a few different times, and I actually have I have some strong opinions on this particular thing, which is we should actually fix it. Like, I think this is a problem. So, because like HAB package install, HAB package or not HAB package install, HAB package exec, HAB service, start or load. They all, the behavior one expects from them is to find packages locally. So, given that behavior, those commands are used much more frequently. So that kind of behavior gets ingrained in people's heads. And then when they go to export, then there's kind of the surprise factor of, well, why didn't it find my package? And the reason being is that the exporters will only look to the depot for when you give it an identifier. If you can give it a heart file, and then they'll go locally. But if you give it an identifier, it'll only go to the depot. And one is, I don't believe it's made clear that that's the, well, maybe it is made clear, but my opinion is that we should honor the same behavior that we're using in those, across the board. And if somebody has, a packet, that package identifier installed locally, the exporters should find it, even if it's not in the depot. That's my opinion. Anybody else here have feels on this?
I think it's pretty clear feedback that people want this as a use case and makes perfect sense.
Yeah, it's come up. Like I know I've seen this, and I know there's another issue out there. Let me when we're done here, I'll come back. I can come back to this because I know I've commented on the other issue, and I'll consolidate them. I'll close one of these, consolidate them, and then put the open one in. I guess what's the thing to do here? We put it in a milestone, or if we're saying that this is something that we want to take on.
No, if it's something, yeah, I mean, it just goes, everything goes in the backlog now.
Okay.
And it's basically either it's going to end up in the backlog or we're going to close it out is kind of the two possible states. If it's something that's going to be help wanted, then we put a help wanted label on it, but otherwise just fill it with the regular labels.
Okay.
And then we prioritize from there.
Sounds good. I'll do that. Since I have some context on this, I won't waste the time on this call doing it, but I'll make sure and go back to it right after this call. Okay. Ruby dependency issue with libxml. Oh, this sounds fun. Is apparently dependency conflicts with itself. Oh. Let's see. So some kind of circular. These are always fun to look at. Can everyone hear me? My audio just went weird.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, cool. Just AV paranoid. Let's see what the last comments are. Okay, well, this is clearly a problem. I don't know if we need to like figure it out on this call, but I mean, this looks like something actually. So, I mean, I'm on goalie this week, and I have cycles today, so I can look deeper into this. Definitely seems like a kind of a goalie-ish type of a thing to look at. In fact, I'm going to assign it to me. So I'll take care of it. I'll take a look at this today.
Make sure you move it into the backlog if you're going to take it, Matt.
Or
into an analysis. Yeah.
Okay. I just.
You can click that pipeline button at the top.
Oh, okay. I'll just do this now. So I'm here. All right. In fact, and then just so I don't forget, I'm going to assign this one to me too.
Yeah, the key thing is changing that pipeline there at the top, so that way it doesn't show up in the next triage.
Cool. Okay, why is it still here? I swear.
I think you gotta change the pipeline on that one too.
Okay. Oh, I guess it's not. Okay. All right. Okay, making progress. Elasticsearch, add support for populating node attributes. More advanced ES.
There's been some discussion around this before. I personally agree with predominant. I don't think that everyone shares my opinion, which is just mind-boggling for me. But no, I'm kidding.
You aren't. Idiots.
You fools. No. Yeah. So. I agree with Graham.
I mean, just looking at this, I mean, without having deep knowledge about, I mean, I've dealt with Elasticsearch in a previous life, but the general principle makes sense to me. Keep it simple in core plans, and inherit off of that, or whatever the right word is for that. If you want to get more complex, let's see. So this was. He had his last comment about a week ago. So I'm willing to say, due to lack of activity, we'll just close this, and if there's more discussion, we can reopen it in the future.
But
It does kind of. I agree. It does kind of, though, this idea of like where an existing plan's configurability kind of ends, and wrapping your own plan, or making a plan that wraps it and kind of adds its own kind of starts, where one stops and one begins, and like kind of covering that in the docs, I think would probably be a good thing. I don't know if we have documentation that kind of covers that general way of authoring plans. So I might post a separate issue just to kind of add that into the docs as something, because just in terms of learning plan authoring and how to do it. But I've seen this come up here and there, and I've hit it myself before too. Just having some instruction around that pattern might be a good thing too.
Yeah, we even outline those in the readmes, right? Which ones are binary only plans and which ones are like standalone. Oh, did Matt freeze? Oh, he lost internet.
Like he's really thinking about the wording of this sentence.
Yeah. Hold on. I don't even know if I can.
I don't think there's a way to take control. Oh yeah, I guess you can just anybody else can just start presenting and he can rejoin.
Let me log into ZenHub real quick and get the filters ready. All right. Can I share my screen? All right. Can everybody see my screen? I'm gonna.
Okay, sorry about that.
Oh.
My internet decided to drop there. I'll share my screen again. Okay. Oh, let me do the, whoops. Present to everyone. Is that okay? Now this where I hit close and comment. And it was like your request. There was an error in your request. I'm like, what do you mean there was an error in my request? And then like suddenly I saw no internet and like, yes.
We just thought that you were in deep thought about that reply.
Well, I was. That's
yeah.
Okay, scaffolding node. All right, package.json node version isn't parsed correctly.
Looks like Scott's already triaged this one. I just forgot to move into the backlog.
Okay, I'll do that. All right. Allow separate channel for core packages. All right, I'll let people look at this.
It's a pretty good feature.
Yeah, we sort of like ad hoc implement this in like the Docker exporter where we set the channel for like the base packages from core, and then you can set a separate channel for your packages, but it's two separate commands that run in the background.
I think this probably points a little bit to the channel functionality maybe not being 100% on the nose of where it needs to be as well. So I feel like we've had a lot of conversations about this, specifically the idea that like, well, I want core to always come from stable, but I want to be able to build unstable from my stuff. And I think I mean, either way, it's a good feature. The implementation details are where it gets. I think that you could solve this problem a few different ways, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Do we should this be an RFC, or should it be discussed in an RFC?
We don't really have an RFC process for.
Oh, that's right.
For Habitat, so
forgot about that. Okay. Yeah, I mean this is fine. Let's see. When was the last? Oh, this is super fresh. Maybe we should keep this alive, at least for the next week, for more discussion on implementation. How do people feel about that?
I think we should probably just accept it, and I don't think anybody here is against it. And then we can add a needs discussion label to it, and as it gets prioritized, maybe we can have a meeting around what we think the implementation should be. There are a few different feature requests that are in there right now that kind of align with this. So probably good to talk about them holistically at some point when they start getting prioritized.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable.
Makes sense. Probably whoever picks this up can propose a different implementation. I think the end variable may be a little too much. But
All right.
the logging seems good.
Oh man, one left. Hab launcher panic after building Windows domain. Oh, okay. That's interesting. Windows Server 2016, when I use Habitat, run as a service through the Windows service. Okay, I think this might be related to a different issue. Let's see. Let me finish reading this. To build a domain controller caused a panic threatening. Oh, okay. So I think I'm gonna assign this to myself just to look over a little bit more. But this looks to me like not a habitat problem, but an Active Directory problem. Just the nature of this error typically means like Active Directory. There's something foobarred either in Active Directory itself, or more likely in your security, like in your AWS security groups, like some TCP or UDP port of the many Active Directory ports aren't open. And so then when Active Directory tries to authenticate the particular user that you're in here, it looks like you're probably trying to run Habitat as, that user isn't able to, the communication isn't flowing. Because I've wrestled with this myself, and it's a super pain in the butt, because the error messages are not super clear. And I remember losing a data to something related to this not too long ago. And I can talk to John about this, but I'll just I will move it to I'll assign it to myself, and I'll make sure it's part of my goalie duties today to attend to this and probably close it out. After talking to, I'll ping John.
Cool.
So, all right. I'll just move to the backlog just so it doesn't.
Just so needs triage can be a clean column.
Exactly. Doesn't that look nice? Treasure it while it lasts. Okay, awesome. Do we? It's been a while since once we finish up the issues, do we go to do we look at open PRs, or do we just pretty much call it?
So what we've done in the past is we've sometimes filtered on the issues that have an RFC label on them, which are typically issues that require some kind of conversation before they get accepted or denied.
So actually, this is a half hour call, right? So we're at.
It's an hour call.
Oh, it's an hour. It's an hour. Okay, got it.
Well, at least it has been historically.
Okay.
But as time has changed, and as we've kind of gotten better at keeping our untriaged issues lower, the necessity has kind of decreased. So anything that like has a CRFC label on it, we could probably get some conversation going on. Or if everybody feels like they need the extra 30 minutes today, you're like booked end to end, and you like to be able to get some food or whatever, we can always just give 30 minutes back.
It'll be interesting to see like at least what is out there that's marked as RFC.
Yeah, so if you just click that labels button right up above there, yeah.
Okay.
Then you can type in RFC and it should pop up. Oh yeah. Click that. That'll give us all the issues that have an RFC label.
Okay, so
some of these may be in the backlog as triage, but haven't actually necessarily been accepted yet.
Yeah, like a lot of this stuff, like this, I know it's something that, like, I don't think there's anything necessarily that we can add here that hasn't already been discussed to death on this, and I don't think there's any argument that this will never be addressed. It's just, I think it's a matter of prioritization. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong there.
Yeah, I mean, if that's the case, then we can probably take the RFC label off of it. If like native macOS packages are something that we are targeting, even if it's like, after 1.0, sometime in 2019, we can remove the RFC label and then leave the needs discussion label like we did with the other. And then when the time comes to prioritize it, then we have a meeting where we talk through what we imagine it to look like.
Okay, I'll just do that. Unless if anybody has a dispute with that, speak now. Let's see, labels.
It's probably a good time. Just considering some of the things that we're looking at right now with regard to build triples and the way that we build and sort different architectures going forward. I think it's probably a good time to remove that RFC label because this is going to be theoretically, after some of the work that's starting to go into flight now that Fletcher's working on, this might be a more realistic feature. So.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So just remove that label. That's all you.
Yeah, you could also edit the title of it.
Oh yeah.
To remove the block there.
Oh, how do you do that here?
I think you have to hit the edit issue button in the top right.
Oh, okay, got it. And or maybe you just go to GitHub. How do you go to get? Is there a link to?
Yeah, there's a link on like the side of YouTube.
Maybe you can do it from here. No. We'll figure it out later.
You might just be able to click on it now that once you're in that editing mode.
Okay, if that's the case, I'll feel really stupid, but that's cool. That's a kind of a default state.
It also.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
It doesn't do a good job of like indicating that you could just click anywhere there, though. To be fair.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. All right. Okay. Semver support and habitat plans. Well, I mean, so I'm just going to comment on this here. I mean, we basically follow whatever versioning that particular plan adheres to, right? So if the plan is Semver, I mean, if the author of the plan that we're packaging, so not the plan, the software is Semver, then then I guess there is
we don't version, we can't, like, as it stands today, we can't actually use legitimate Semver versioning in our package types.
Yeah, I think what he's saying is like we don't support Semver like to the fullest extent to rebuild things. Like we can't go back and rebuild Postgres 9.4 if there is a 9.6 version.
Okay.
Because we don't have reproducible builds.
So...
And that's a thing that like we've considered. Oh wait, what?
Yeah. So. When he says this is fixed, I'm not sure if this means this as in this general issue or if he's pointing to some example.
Probably it's probably something specific in the thread, I would imagine. Because yeah.
At any rate, my browser is. Oh, here we go. Oh, and it's merged. So let's see. Adds RFC. Oh, okay. I see. So wait, which is this core plans?
Oh, I see. So Romain just re-implemented the RFC in an actual
okay,
plans.
Yeah.
So we can close this.
Yes. Yeah. All right, cool. Proper endpoint to expose metrics. You can see the value in that. This was, when was this up? A year ago. But I know there, no discussion for a year. That doesn't seem to me that this is a hot issue. I'd be actually willing to. I'd be prone to close this due to lack of discussion, unless anybody else thinks otherwise.
So what was the request again? Can you scroll up to the?
Yeah. So it looks like basically, I mean, what there looks like is they want the he wants the health check to basically have more, have kind of more dynamic structure. So right now, you basically, in a health check, you get status, SCD out, and SCD. He doesn't have status in this example for some reason, but it'll give you status, SCD out, SCD air, and he wants to be able to give it kind of like some dynamic metric points.
Output some JSON or something you could slip
Right.
up with a metrics endpoint. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think the feature is a bad request.
Oh, I don't think it's not a bad request.
If it's something that we would accept, we can, but that we don't see ourselves prioritizing, we could always just accept it and add a help wanted label on it. Oh, you know what? It looks like this is already in help wanted here.
Oh, let's see.
So this got sorted at some point. It just doesn't have the label. So maybe what we should do is add the help wanted label and remove the RFC label.
Wanted, remove RFC.
And then we can edit the title again.
Oh, yes.
And then that puts us, and then, if somebody in the community feels like hacking on that, and all of those help wanted things we will come back and reprioritize at different points. So some of the stuff could end up getting worked, but right now it's just something that won't get prioritized.
All right. Allow custom Docker file to Docker exporter. It sounds interesting. Not a whole lot of activity.
Yeah, that's one that I think. That's one I think that people we probably are going to have some discussion on. We don't support it today. It would be a non-trivial change just because of the way that the exporters work. But there's a couple reasons why we didn't allow that at the outset, and I don't know those reasons off the top of my head. I think Fletcher might have some context on that. Might be good to just leave this one and we can come back to it.
I mean, I could totally see what, because I think there's some stuff basically in the build file that we create. I mean, we set the stage for Habitat for the supervisor to run and for it to call the exported, the package. And so it basically requires you to this would require you to have some knowledge about those internals. So we would have to either make it super simple so that it would be, pretty bulletproof to be able to write a Docker file that would pull that in, or it would just be like a big, huge foot gun that we'd be giving people. So it's been dormant since October, which is a pretty good long while. I don't necessarily see this as a no-brainer, something going into help wanted, or I would be prone to close this out.
Yeah,
that's
I'm
what
okay with
my
that.
feel-
And
yeah.
if, I mean, we can close it out, and if community members, if we see more requests and more people say, hey, this is something we need, then we can revisit it.
I definitely, so like, I totally empathize with the desire to have some more like custom ability in how the Docker image gets created, though. I mean, I can totally see, like, I can totally identify with the motivation behind this. In fact, I think I have an issue out there. And if I ever get time, I'm going to tackle it, which is to at least, like, for example, I'd like to be able to override at least the base image for some Windows work. That would be there. That opens up some good optimizations. Like, so for example, like if I want, the IIS web server to be on there, like right now, I have to have my package install it, which means the very first, when that container starts up, there's 5 minutes, whereas I could just use this other base image that already has it on there. But and I could see tons of other things. But at any rate, let's see, closing now due to lack of discussion. Oh, of course, it'd be nice if I could spell happy. There we go. All right. Health check for plans. Okay, that's interesting already. Only package.
Yeah.
This has definitely come up in some discussions I've had with people. I mean, people. Let's see, where is this left? Okay, so people, I think, understandably so. Especially people coming from a chef background where they're used to kind of like that test kitchen and chef spec. I mean, be that your feelings may be whatever they are for those, but there's something to be said for like, how do I, like, at the end of the day, how do I know this is a good plan? And but so I've always seemed to, my sense is if you're curious for that level of testing or checking, that might be something. I forget the name of the function, but we do have a callback. Basically, it's do test essentially. Now, do test is specifically, I think, geared to like unit tests for the software that you've got there. So if you were to use this for that, that might be considered kind of an overriding of concepts. That might be something where I would logically put that logic now, but I could see maybe wanting to have some other place for. I'm not necessarily so concerned about the test of the software, but I want to make sure the test of the actual, like, that things get packaged correctly, especially like if you've got a gnarly package that has, like, so for your straightforward packages, I don't really necessarily see the benefit, but if you've got a package that's doing just a ton of stuff, that might be handy. But yeah, so
I think there's another, can you click that 1465? I'm curious to see what Romain is referencing.
Oh, okay, yeah, totally.
Yeah, it does feel kind of bound up in the same things. Like we have effort underway on some of that. It's just not prioritized right now. Like we want people to be able to test their plans. The plan functionality itself is minimal, right?
Totally, yeah.
But there are some things that, like, I think we are all in agreement that you should be able to test. Like at any given moment, you want to be able to tell if your package supports running in clustered or standalone mode. You want to be able to test that. That's kind of an integration thing. It's not as much like Unity stuff like you get with like a cookbook tests or what have you. But it's it's worth mentioning that like this stuff we've been discussing it, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with this one. I don't know if it's right to close it out, or I feel like this is an issue that we've had multiple different versions of this same request asked of us a few times now. So
as I've been getting more involved with customers, like this comes up a lot, and I think it's going to come up more. Let me it feels like we should at least consolidate the two issues, but I don't feel really comfortable about doing that. Right now, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna assign it to myself. So as part of goalie duty, I'll make a point of going over this, with a finer comb and proposing, and perhaps if it seems appropriate to close one or the other, more likely this one, in favor of the other RFC, and maybe even adding some comments too. Oh, it's already 10 o'clock, so I'll just keep it like that for now. Discussing butterfly optimizations. Okay, well, not a lot has happened since February, as in nothing.
Since Tasha opened this, I don't know that it needs to be an RFC.
Yeah, but I just want to see like what it is.
Oh, she put that on there just because it's not actually directly tracking work. You could probably just leave that one.
Okay. I'm just wondering if this has been, if some or all of this has actually been addressed by some of the there's been major work, not in Butterfly specifically, I suppose, but in the supervisor recently.
Yeah.
Like changing the way sockets are handled, like for sure.
I think that's part of the work that's going on right now.
Yeah. Cap and Pro. Oh, like Cap and Pro. Yeah. So, well, I don't.
We switched to pros.
Yeah. You know what? I am inclined to close this, since we're actively working on this right now. Does that sound reasonable to folks?
Yeah, it seems fine. Yeah.
Oh, come on. Check my own spelling. All right. Oh, wait, no. I need to actually close it. There we go. All right. Oh, hey, look at that. Only 2 left. All right. GCC, G++, sounds fun already. Default flags for habitat builds.
Yeah, I think I remember this one. I think that this is like something we should do. The only reason this is labeled as an RFC right now is because of the process that we outlined in the core plans repo. This one, you can leave it as is. I think Stephen Dana was planning at some point to open a legit RFC for it.
Yeah, let's.
I think it is a good thing, and it's something we should do, but it's something that would touch a lot of packages, and so it's not something that we have opted in for at this point, because it'll be a very large. It could end up being in scope of work similar to what we just did with rebuilding the base set, because changing those flags to be more safe, we just don't really know. You can't know exactly how that's going to traverse the dependency tree.
Yeah. That makes
So,
that makes total sense. Okay, I'm just gonna leave this.
Yeah, I would leave that one for now.
Oh, okay. And this okay. And so this is the other one that one that I promised to look at later references. So
Yep.
yeah, I'm gonna look at both of these today.
Cool.
Cool.
Great.
Well, that leaves us with 8 minutes to enrich the rest of our lives with. So
Perfect.
thanks for joining, everyone, and we will now end this week's triage. Thanks a lot. Thanks a bunch.
See you all next week.